a robot that can help you remember where you put things? That's our Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from the University of Waterloo in Canada and the Social and Intelligent Robotics Research Lab is Dr. Ali Ayub. Hi, Ali.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Pleasure to meet you. Now, you've been making some headlines with the work you and the team there have been doing following the publication of a scientific paper. Give us the overview.
A quick overview, I guess, of the system is that we're trying to develop a episodic memory system, so kind of a memory management system for a robot that could assist people in their households, specifically to find any items that might have gone missing or items that might be misplaced in their house. And our goal is to be first use it for assisting people that might have disabilities such as dementia, but I think the system could actually be eventually used for general use for anyone.
I was going to say you have a lot of people excited, I think, by these headlines here. Tell us about the potential use case scenarios and how this could be used.
Yes, of course. So as I mentioned, the first potential use case is actually for helping people with dementia. Initially, perhaps their caregivers, so that they could use this technology to help them perhaps find any items in their house. But actually the goal further than that is actually to help people that might be like older adults in their households, to even remind them about, let's just say, taking medicine or actually going through the events of the day in general, rather than just simply finding objects. So those are some potential applications. And then finally, a quick, easy application is for us users to just have an app on our phone, and we could pretty much look through our robot's memory on that and see, hey, I lost my keys. Let's see where they are. Or let's ask the robot where it might have seen the last time in the house. Yeah.
So how would this work? Would you have a robot essentially tagging along with you all of the time, keeping track of where you're putting things?
Actually, the goal is that the robot would be in your house, and essentially it could be a companion robot or an assistive robot. And it could be performing tasks in the household. It could be, like, for example, a Roomba. Let's just say, we're not hoping to apply it in the Roomba, but let's just giving an example. So the Roomba, let's just say, cleaning your house, and it still uses camera to maybe track some of the things that might be in your household. And then you could just simply go through the memory of your Roomba and then check it. So it doesn't have to be tracked, attached to you the whole time. It simply just has to be in your household doing its own tasks, while it also does the job of actually having its memory be available to be tracked using an app for the users.
Is your plan to actually build robots or sell your technology to companies that are building robots?
Our hope is actually not to build like a physical robot. We're actually mainly interested in developing the technology itself. And then if it does get to a point that it is applicable in the real world, and we are hoping to do some studies with people with disabilities as well. And then hopefully we can move forward with plans to, I guess, commercialize it.
And license this or sell it to companies that would be making assistive robots? Is that the idea?
Hopefully, I mean, right now we don't know where it might go actually, but hopefully it would get to that point. But right now we don't actually know until we actually perform these tests with real users. I think then we'll have a better idea and how we can actually improve it or make it useful for people that are going to need it in their daily lives.
How is it that you and the team there decided to focus on solving these issues?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. My research interests particularly are in household assistive robotics. So that was one of my interests. And then my supervisor, who is Professor Kirsten Dottenham here at University of Waterloo, she's been working in this field for actually a long time. I think it's been 20 years, maybe more, just on the area of developing robots that could assist people and or even children that might have disabilities. So that's where we actually discussed, and she had worked on this idea a while ago. I think it was in 2000, maybe 10 or 7. But then once I joined, then I actually we both talked about it, and then we, I guess, came up with this idea to move forward with this project. Yeah.
Where are you on the roadmap here in terms of really bringing this into homes and helping people?
Right now we are actually hoping that well, okay, let me just I guess I should go back up a little bit. So in terms of deploying into real homes, I think I don't think it's possible to be deployed right now. Because some of the concerns are actually also related to the hardware of the system. So the robot could actually be deployed in a real home. We're hoping to actually start testing it in a smart home type facility. My supervisor, again, Kirsten Dottenham, she had that in her previous university in England, a smart home where there were multiple different robots and could be deployed. But for now, we're currently, I guess I would say, maybe in an initial stage to deploy it in, I guess, household type environments. Yeah, and then for smaller robots, because there are actually two different. So the picture that you might probably show, that is for a particular kind of robot that we're working with, but we do have smaller robots that actually could work out and could be deployed in real homes right now, although with some extra work needed from our side still. Yeah.
So technically, what is the robot doing? What is your contribution to this? What does your software do?
Sure, yeah. So the main contribution of our software right now is that it is able to technically it is able to, I guess, detect objects in a household type or wherever actually in the environment for the robot. And after detecting them, it could even track them. So essentially, if the objects move around, the robot could still actually track them, that this is the same object that is moving around in the environment. And then based on that, using that detection and tracking of objects, the robot can store the situations when a new object appears in a particular environment or when it leaves a particular area in its memory. So essentially a video or an image of that scenario. And then users could search through that memory using simply like searching for a particular object that they might be interested in. So for example, a cell phone, and then the robot could actually provide the user with information, for example, that the cell phone was seen in this particular area on this day and at this time. And you can also watch the video associated with it. That is for the cell phone. And one interesting aspect that we added into our system is that it's a personalized system, which means that users, the robot doesn't have to track everything in the house. The users can simply tell the robot using the GUI that whatever it needs to track. So the users could tell the robot, hey, so for example, me, if I lose my phone or keys or I don't know, some special mug, then I could simply tell the robot from using that GUI, graphical user interface, which objects are important to me and and those are the objects that the robot should track.
And so your glasses or whatever it happens to be, it would learn which items belong to you and maybe which items belong to someone else in a household?
Yeah, that is actually right now we don't have that system added. We're actually currently working on that with some students. But yes, that is another aspect of the system, which is actually pretty easily we can pretty easily add that in our system that different users could define different items that they're important to them, and then the robot could actually personalize to each particular user in the house as well. Yes.
So this is technology, the code that you've been working on, and since you made some headlines with this recently, have you heard from companies that are expressing interest in working with you?
I haven't actually had any companies reach out to me. I have had different media calls. So I've actually done some interviews in other channels as well. But no, I haven't heard anything from the companies yet. Maybe someday. Yeah.
Well, it sounds very exciting there, and you've got a team of people working on this and
Yeah.
hoping to have trials going when? Later this year, next year?
Well, I'm hoping that we could have a study, like a user study, either late this year or maybe early to mid next year. So
So-
I think in the winter semester, I think that's the most likely scenario. Yeah.
Sounds very exciting. Is there a
Yeah.
place that people can go to get more information?
Yes, we have our research paper, which can provide you a lot more information and pretty much the whole lower level technical details of the system. So that's published, and easiest way to find it is actually you can go to my website, like my personal website, and then you can find all my research there actually, and the paper is one of them in on that website. It is sites.google.com/view/Ali Ayub. If you search for my name, you should be able to find it. And then yeah, on that website, I have paper as well as the video associated with that as well. So I have a small video that explains the system in like a 5-minute video. So that might also give more information if you don't want to read the paper. Yeah.
Well, it sounds very exciting. Congratulations on the work you and the team there are doing, and there's going to be a lot of interest in it, I think, as you move forward.
Yeah.
Dr. Ali Ayub, thank you for spending time with us.
Thanks a lot for inviting me, and yeah, I'm excited to work on this. But yeah, have a nice day. Thank you.